were talking about getting together, when you were talking about joining our firm, lots of experiences that you've had. Your character obviously were attractive to us, but been doing a lot of thinking about and talking obviously about this concept of servant leadership lately. And I know that you have done a lot of research on it, a lot of teaching on it with your former firm. You did education around it. And just clarify for me what you think is the essence of servant leadership.
Yeah, no, thanks for taking the time. With regard to servant leadership, because there is a lot written on it, a lot of literature on the topic, and sometimes you just have to make the complex simple.
Yeah.
With regard to servant leadership.
That. I like that.
Yeah. With regard to servant leadership, I think very simply, you're seeking to help.
Okay.
You're meeting people where they are.
Okay.
Whether it be some moment of crisis, whether it's something developmental, a desire to continuously move forward. And you're entering in, walking alongside of them and saying, how can I be helpful to you?
Okay. Now help me out with this in terms of being helpful.
Yeah.
Our context or our clients are always organizations.
Yep.
So there's an organization that's our client, and then we're working with people inside it. So the context is the organization needs to be accomplishing something.
Sure.
So how does the concept of helping an individual advance the cause of whatever it is that the organization is committed to?
Yeah, and I think that that's one common question that a lot of folks have. Is servant leadership constrained to one-on-one, to leading the individual?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the case. I think we can
You're
be
saying
helpful.
it shouldn't be constrained in that
No.
way. We shouldn't even maybe think of it in that way.
No, I wouldn't. I'd
All
say
right.
that it puts us in a box and doesn't allow us to think
Okay.
how we can be helpful to larger numbers of people.
Okay, all right.
So in this particular case, we can serve, the manner in which we lead, we can serve, we can be helpful, certainly to individuals, but also to teams, larger groups, to departments, and of course entire organizations can be helped. Now, with regard to what it is we're focusing on, I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up as well.
Okay.
Often servant leadership is relegated to the soft stuff.
By the soft stuff, you mean?
Just the interpersonal, just the connection, the communication.
Which is important,
all
but
of these
not the whole
things.
deal. Is
Right.
that what I hear you saying?
Vastly important.
Okay.
And you'll see certain higher level organizational leaders say, well, what about the results?
Yeah.
So you certainly can't look past them. If
Of course not.
we don't hit the metrics, if we don't hit the numbers,
Right.
you're not going to have an opportunity to be helpful to these people.
Okay.
Right? There is no opportunity. So part of the helpfulness there is saying, well, sometimes we have to focus on those, the harder skills, the technical skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that the helpfulness of a leader is often in just helping people accelerate just a little bit their pace or what they think they can do, what they think they can accomplish. And in doing so, we collectivize it and we accelerate the whole accomplishment deal in the organization, whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. Our job when we go in there as consultants is to see if we can build skills and commitment that just accelerate it just a little bit, just expand that person's capacity a little bit. And when we do so, it feels to me like everybody wins.
Yes. Oh, agreed 100%. I had a high school wrestling coach, Jeff Bricker, always tell us when we walked into the room every day, let's get 1% better today.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
There is no, we're going to make a 180-degree change in this moment, here and now.
Right.
But we're going to get 1% better today. We're going to build on that foundation. And there were many times where he'd have to take me aside and define reality for me.
Yeah.
The harder side, the difficult conversation that people stray away from sometimes. But we say servant leaders embrace it. They're willing to have those conversations to say, if you would like to hit that metric, that number, you're going to need to do something a little differently.
Yeah, and a little better.
Right.
And maybe a little faster.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But it's always that delivery of truth with compassion,
Yeah.
with graciousness, with
Yeah.
empathy. They can stand in your shoes, see the problem from your perspective, and say, here's how we're going to move forward.
And always within the context of the organization's mission and values.
Right. Always.
So we can do this servant leadership thing.
Oh, yes.
But we've got to be committed to doing it in the overall context of what the organization calls us to do.
Right. To be helpful to the organization, to be helpful to the teams within the organization, and to be helpful to the people that comprise your organization.
And therein lies the complexity, how we overlay that and make it work together as a team, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is servant leadership about? You get one sentence. What are you saying?
Meet people where they are, find the need, help them develop, ultimately be other-centered, help them out.
I like it.
Thanks, Roger.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.